College game day is in Conway, South Carolina for a matchup between two 9-0 teams. Coastal Carolina catching 10 at home to BYU. It's the first time in the AP poll era where two 9-0 teams or better with neither ranked in the top 5. They're nowhere close, all things considered. Hey, Birds aren't the only ones heading south for the winter. The Bear is also doing such in town with game day, obviously, there for this one. Bear, it's I imagine a great atmosphere for this rare trip by college game day. Who do you have in this matchup?
I'm going to lean towards BYU minus the points here. You just look at BYU this year statistically. There have not been many teams who have been as dominant and consistent as the Cougars have been this year, leading the nation in both scoring margin and yards per game differential. Their ability to dominate the game in the trenches, it will, I think, really be the key to this game. But one thing which would give you a little bit of hope if you're a Coastal Carolina fan and maybe lean towards an overplay as well is not only does BYU have a great offense, but Coastal Carolina does some things offensively that could maybe be problematic for BYU to prep for in a short week. So look for a lot of points tomorrow, but I do think BYU is the superior team.
Interesting. And yeah, the Cougars have shown, obviously, they're willing to go for those style points in case it is a one-score game late. All right, Bear, what's your best bet for the weekend?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a long show today, so you and I can't devote an entire segment to the game going on in InfoCision Stadium between Bowling Green and Akron. But for my best bet, I'm going to head west, and I'm going to go with Cal plus the 9 against Oregon. I have not been high on this Oregon team this year at all. It's an offense that turns the ball over far too much for my liking, and defensively, they lost so many impact players from last year that the unit has taken a step back. Sewell, the freshman, is probably its best player, but this is not the same Oregon defense we saw last year. And I think Cal now, getting those players back from early in the year that they lost because of quarantine, Justin Wilcox's team lost a couple of heartbreakers. This feels like a game to me where Cal will kind of take out a little bit of angst on Oregon. As a big underdog, I think they have a really good chance to win.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Bears started strong and then peaking sort of at the right time. So the Bear on the Bears. All right, Bear, travel safely. We'll see you back next week.
Thanks, Doug.
Look at this. Alabama laying 29 at Death Valley. My, oh my, how the defending champs have fallen. It's the most points LSU's getting as an underdog since the FBS and FCS split in 1978. By the way, Nick Saban has cleared COVID protocols. And look what the public is not afraid of those 4 touchdown plus points delay. 94% at Caesars William Hill on the Crimson Tide. Only 82% of tickets. Obviously, that can change as the weekend arrives. Let's bring back Joe. Let's bring back Preston as well. I'm going to lay it with Bama. It's almost my best bet. LSU is pathetic on offense. Both freshman quarterbacks looked inept last week against Texas A&M. I don't think they're going to do much against this improving Bama defense. Also, the Bama offense with Mac Jones is basically the same statistically as it was with Tua. We were talking about how revolutionary it was. Tua was going to go number 1. All this stuff. Mac Jones is basically putting up the same numbers. I've been impressed, and I know transitive property is not the greatest handicapping tool. But you're talking about a Bama team that just beat Auburn by 29, and Auburn killed LSU. So that's how far apart these teams are. So I'm laying it. Preston, how are you playing it?
I like the total. With my projection, first and foremost, I'm playing under. It's 63, and you want to look, why is this so high? It might be because everyone's impression of Alabama is that they can score as many as they want, which is true to some degree, and then everyone remembers that LSU's defense has struggled most of the season, but they have been better these last few weeks. Against A&M, they only gave up 20. On the other side, LSU, they can't score, right? I think they finally did at the buzzer, essentially. They lost that game 20-7. And Alabama, I'm glad you said improving defense, because since that Ole Miss game where we saw going back and forth and really went down to the wire, they've been way better offensively and outperforming their metrics there, or at least the expected points in those matchups. So I like under. My numbers say it should be 63, like a 49-13 game, so I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you in terms of that under as well. What about you?
Agreed. LSU ranked 67th in the country in yards per play. Bama's defense is giving up 8 points per game over the last 4 outings. LSU wide receiver Terrace Marshall opted out this week. He was the guy that scored the only touchdown last week. He caught 10 passes. He was their offense. He's out. Under's the play.
And what does that say about the whole mindset of the locker room and the Tigers? I know it's a rivalry game, but I don't think you throw out records for this one.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.